Hey everybody, this is Mike with the One Stop Co-op Shop, and today I'm reviewing Assassin's Creed Brotherhood of Venice, as well as the expansion that's kind of like a standalone campaign, Apocalypse, and disclaimer that I was sent a review copy of this one. And by the way, I'm going to be using some Apocalypse materials, even though I'm talking mainly about the core system in Brotherhood of Venice, because that's what I was just playing, and it's already set up. But yes, so this is a campaign-based game based on the Assassin's Creed video game, where 2 to 4 assassin characters are using actions, generally 3 a turn, to move around on these tiles, trying to avoid the guards that are moving based on random event cards, and engaging in both dice-based stealth to see if they're discovered, as well as dice-based combat to fight off people while trying to assassinate targets, secure objectives, those kind of things, and progress through the story and the campaign. So let's discuss 5 key things to know about Assassin's Creed Brotherhood of Venice, as well as the Apocalypse expansion and how it changes things up. So my number 5 point is focused on the characters and how you level up in the game. It's the least important thing to know, but still important, and this is a pro for my taste. So if you have just the base game, you have 4 different characters to use, and you gotta always use at least 2 of them. Apocalypse doesn't add any more. But they can level up through 4 levels, unlocking more powerful special abilities. You also get to choose skills unique to each set of characters. You unlock armor, you get equipment, some of it's single use, some of it permanent upgrades. You get to unlock blueprints and things. So your characters really get super powerful and get tons of cool tools by the end of the campaign. And a nice little feature that I appreciate, if you get bored with one character, it's pretty simple if they're fully healed to switch to another one if you want to try out a different set of special abilities and strategies. And I really like in Apocalypse the addition of a helper character named Xiao Jun, who has her own cool abilities. It reminds me a bit of the helper in Burn Cycle, and I just like kind of managing an NPC and having more cool combos to pull off with them. Next, for number 4, I'm looking at the campaign structure and the unlocks in the game. This is a mix for my taste. So this is very much a linear campaign. There are some optional missions you can play, but generally you're just going through the exact same storyline each time. The story is very minimal. It does have the theme of Assassin's Creed, and it has some fun twists and turns, but don't come in expecting to read a ton and having a really deep narrative. Now, what's a bit more negative for me is how they unlock stuff. Now, it is fun to unlock, so you've got like envelopes for every scenario, you've got envelopes for all kinds of stuff, and each time you open one of these, you're often going to be adding new cards to decks, unlocking new equipment, having new special things for the scenario you're playing. But yeah, just resetting all of these, which I did after I started playing Apocalypse, setting up things for the first time, it can be a little bit annoying, although don't get me wrong, it is fun and exciting to open things up and see what happens. But for my taste, I drastically prefer what Apocalypse did, where they just have little kind of separator cards and you can go through the missions like that. It's just way faster and easier to deal with, and it still separates things so you don't see stuff until you unlock it. Another addition to Apocalypse that I really enjoy is this adventure map. So you're still moving from scenario to scenario in a linear fashion, but you need to find the next scenario by traveling along the map, and along the way you'll have like little encounters and things that are really fun narratively. So for me at least, Apocalypse takes the basic campaign structure and levels it up to where it might even be a full pro. For my number 3, I'm looking at the scenario variety in the game, and this is a mix for my taste. On the negative side, a lot of the scenarios do start to feel the same within a given campaign, because they don't have that many varieties of things for you to do. Sometimes you're tracking down objectives, sometimes you're trying to defeat a boss, and they do each have their own special things. And I will say later on in the campaign, they throw some extra curveballs at you that are really exciting, but, you know, in the end, you are just doing a lot of similar stuff. The maps all kind of start to run together, so if you want drastically different scenarios game to game, you're not going to really get it here. But on the positive side, there are a lot of nice randomizing factors within playing a scenario, so it won't play out the exact same time. You've got events that will change up where the enemies are moving and how the rounds play out, different reinforcements spawning that you have to deal with, different types of enemies, and of course, as I'm about to discuss, the different results in die rolls that'll change up your plans. So there are some positives and negatives in the scenario design overall. But now let's get to my number 2, which is unfortunately a full con, and that's the element of randomness in the game. So you're rolling dice for a lot of things. A really big one of the most important things in the game, is when you move into a place with enemies, generally you're going to be rolling a die to see if they find you or not. And if you get the wrong result, a 1/3 chance or a 2/3 chance per enemy, it depends on the situation, then the alarm gets set off, and it is very tough to cancel the alarm. There's only one card in the whole equipment deck that tends to do it until you unlock other abilities. So there can just be a huge swinginess in how a few early rolls go. Same kind of thing happens if you attack somebody and fail to kill them, then the alarm gets set off. And enemies have a 50-50 chance to damage you, so I've had attacks where I didn't take any damage at all, and attacks where my assassin died immediately. And that's more annoying than it might seem, because when your assassins are taken out and you fail a mission, you have to try the mission again with apprentice assassins who are way weaker, and then often you'll have to play the next mission as well with apprentice assassins while you wait for your main assassins to heal up. So there can be some annoying compounding of the luck. Now, the weird thing is, though, on the opposite side of things, as you unlock more things and get deeper into the campaign, you can sometimes get so overpowered that the game becomes too easy. So the balance can kind of go in multiple directions. So there's some things to be aware of if you are randomness averse or very sensitive to balance issues in games. But forgetting about the dice for a moment, the actual tactics of your actions on the turn and the stealth in the game, besides the dice, I think is really good. Because if you don't pay attention to the dice, or if you have your abilities and items to kind of ignore that aspect of it, then it becomes a really cool positioning puzzle, because you know information, like you know which way enemies are going to be moving, you know where they are likely to spawn on a given turn, and you can hide in hiding spots and wait for them to come to you and then to stab them all to death. And time is always against you in these scenarios, so you have to really figure out, how can I use my actions in the most precise and efficient way possible? And the fact that the turn structure is very free-flowing, where like one player can do one thing and then somebody else can come in and help them out, and then they can go back to their own actions. I like all of that. The tactics in the game are excellent. And again, the stealth, apart from rolling the dice to see if you're seen, are really good, especially when you get more tools to kind of play around with. And this part of the game is another place where I think Apocalypse gets even better, because they have a lot more hiding places and a lot more ways on the board for you to avoid enemies. They also have like crocodiles and snakes that can attack the enemies and you can lead them into. So I think they took the good tactical puzzle of the original game and made it even better with Apocalypse. I enjoy it quite a lot. So overall, if you want a campaign game with a ton of stealth action, Assassin's Creed is one of the only ones out there and a great one to go with, especially if you play the Apocalypse expansion. That's the best the game has been. But on the other hand, if you want tons of variety in your play, if you're not that comfortable with randomness because it crops up quite a bit here, you might not enjoy this one. And if you want to see the game in action, we have playthroughs for both the original game and Apocalypse. Lots to check out and see if the system interests you. Thanks for watching, everybody. Good gaming, and I'll see you at the next stop.